We're about to explore advanced strategies that allow you to diversify large, concentrated stock positions with low to no tax impact. What if I told you that we could take a $2.7 million tax bill and slash that down to almost nothing? Well, that's what we're able to make happen for our case study couple in question today. Let's get into it. We have a married couple living in California. They've got 3 kids, close to college, $2.4 million household income, taking care of aging parents, 3 years from retirement, and all their goals are within grasp. Why? Because they have about $20 million in liquid assets. For this couple, their ideal vision for the future is secured. But there's a very significant and often underappreciated risk in our couple's planning. What is it? Well, 17 of the $20 million of liquid assets that they have is all tied up in one stock. We don't think it'll happen, but we've also seen it happen. What if the stock were to drop, let's say 60%? Well, 10 million of our $20 million gone. That hurts. But what hurts even more is going through and deciding which boxes do we uncheck. Retire later and less time with the kids, no more beach house gatherings, no money to charity, tougher to take care of parents. Something's got to give. It's a tough situation. Now, when we look back on these scenarios, we say, why didn't we diversify? Oftentimes it's FOMO. Stock's gone crazy. I don't want to miss out on more. Sometimes it's loyalty to the company. It's got me here. Why can't it keep working? But most of the time, what I've found is it's the tax bill. Clients are saying, Jake, I know we should diversify, but this tax bill is going to hurt. Let's wait. Wait for what? Today, we're going to show you how to dramatically reduce the tax bill so we can get you through that barrier and allow you to make the decision that you know you should make. I'm Jake Hughes, partner and private wealth advisor with Blueprint Financial Group. For more than a decade, I've served tech and corporate executives and business owners, people who are facing significant taxable events, typically multiple throughout their career. I help you, the family with the $20 million concentrated stock position, diversify tax efficiently. I help you, the business owner facing a $30 million exit and a huge tax bill. I help you, the real estate developer, about to sell a $15 million piece of property, and I don't want to do a 1031 exchange. I help you keep more of what you've worked hard to build and keep as much of it from the IRS as we can. Today, we are talking about strategies to reduce the tax impact on these sales. We'll start with the more basic but still crucial, then work our way through the advanced stuff, the fun stuff. These strategies, especially when implemented as a part of a comprehensive plan, save our couple in question today over $2 million in taxes. Each one plays a crucial role, so stay locked in. Today, we're going to talk about diversifying half of that position without getting hammered in tax bills. Okay, strategy 1, or kind of lack thereof, an outright sale. Now, listen up. A mess up here can amount to millions in unnecessary taxes. Let's assume a little bit of strategy. Let's say we're going in to make this $8.5 million sale, and we know, I do have to make sure it's long-term capital gain. So I'm going to select the option first in, first out. I'm going to sell the oldest possible shares, make sure they're definitely long-term capital gain. Okay. Click. 8.5 million cash shows up in the account. You know what else shows up? A $7.5 million capital gain. That's $2.7 million in taxes. Ouch. For this couple, their tax rate was 37.1% on a long-term capital gain, 20% federal, 3.8% net investment income, and a whopping 13.3% California state income tax. First recommendation, move. I'm kidding. Kind of. Sort of. All right. Focus in for this one. This strategic move alone saves our couple $1.2 million in taxes right off the bat. What is it? Specific tax lot selection. Now we're going to be strategic. We're going to be smart with which shares we actually sell. We're going to sell long-term capital gain, but we're going to pick the highest cost basis shares. Boom. Cut our tax bill almost in half. Now we're down to a $4.25 million gain, 1.5 million taxes owed. That's 1.2 million saved right there. But let's talk about how to grab another 300,000 or so in tax savings for our couple. Tax loss harvesting. So first, again, we're going to be smart. We're going to choose the tax lots, the highest basis, as we did in the last example. Now, remember, our couple has another 3 million in liquidity outside of NVIDIA. So we identified 900,000 in losses over there in that $3 million of stuff they've got. We're going to use those losses to offset the gain from the NVIDIA. Now we're down to a $3.35 million gain, down to $1.2 million in taxes. Awesome. Just by being a little bit strategic here and not stubbing our toe, we already saved $1.5 million in taxes owed on this sale. Now, time for the fun stuff. If you believe in math and hate unnecessary tax, these next 4 strategies will make you smile. I like smiling. Smiling's good. We should all do it all day. All right. Number 1, direct indexing. Let's first discuss how direct indexing works. On a high level, there's 2 ways to potentially track the return of an index. 1, single fund solution. We can buy an ETF. We can buy a mutual fund to track the return of an index. I think we're all aware of how that works. Number 2, on the other side, we can actually buy the underlying holdings, the underlying stocks that make up the index directly in your taxable account. That's direct indexing. Hundreds of individual stocks with the goal of tracking an index closely. Doing this with hundreds of individual stocks is where the real magic happens. Why is that? Well, hundreds of stocks allows for much more significant and strategic tax loss harvesting. Remember our friend from before? He's back. Direct indexing and tax loss harvesting pairs best with a staggered sale over a few years. Here's a hypothetical 3-year staggered sale for our couple. Year 1, sell 3 million of the NVIDIA. Take the cash, put it in a direct indexing portfolio. Let's assume a $1.5 million gain. Let's take our 900,000 of losses from the other parts of the portfolio. Now let's assume the direct indexing creates another 300,000 in losses for us. Tax owed in 1 year, $100,000 roughly. Year 2, sell 2 million more of NVIDIA. Add that cash to direct indexing, $1 million gain. Subtract 450,000 in losses created from direct indexing. Tax owed in year 2, 200,000. Year 3, Sell the other 3.5 million of NVIDIA. Let's assume 1,750,000 in gain. That cash goes to direct indexing. We got a big pile, 8.5 million if there's no growth. Let's say we generate 680,000 in tax losses in year 3. Tax owed in that year, about 400,000. Okay. Total over 3 years, 100 plus 200 plus 400, 700,000 in taxes. We were at 1.5 million of taxes owed, down to 700. That's 800,000 in tax savings. Additionally, from direct indexing. That's awesome. That's the power of direct indexing and tax loss harvesting. But there's a big risk here. What is it? Well, it took us 3 years to diversify. That still leaves us insanely exposed to our single stock position. How do we reduce that risk while we wait? Don't worry. We're about to show you how to do that. In steps, strategy number 2, exchange funds or exchange fund replication. These are tools that most people have never even heard of. But for the right situation, they can be incredibly powerful. An exchange fund is essentially a pooled partnership. You contribute your shares of concentrated stock. Here it's NVIDIA. Other people put shares of stock into this partnership as well, different ones. Coca-Cola, Johnson & Johnson, Google, Amazon, Facebook, GE. In return, after a holding period, you receive back a basket of diversified stocks from the other participants who did the same thing. Here's the critical part. Because it's structured as a contribution to a partnership rather than a sale, you don't trigger a taxable event. You keep your original cost basis on what you put in. You just traded concentration for diversification without a tax bill. Powerful. But the trade-offs with traditional exchange funds are real. InStep's a newer approach, one we use often. We really like it. It's called exchange fund replication. It solves many of these issues. Instead of joining a partnership, we're going to work in your brokerage account, your taxable account. What we're going to do is use stock options to hedge a significant portion of the concentrated stock. What's that mean? Well, now if it goes up like crazy, well, we don't take advantage of the upside. But the flip side of that, if it goes down like crazy, we don't lose a ton. It's called a hedge. We're also going to synthetically achieve broad stock market exposure using stock options. Why do we like it? Well, you keep daily liquidity. There's no lockup. You don't have to deal with a K1 that comes from a partnership. They're a lot easier to get into. That's the power of exchange fund replication. Up next, number 3, charitable giving. Could a $600,000 gift to charity really save us $500,000 more in taxes for our couple? Spoiler alert, it can. Let's get into it. So if you're already charitably inclined, and I'd say the majority of the families I work with are, there's almost certainly a more strategic way to give versus just stroking a check. I want to help you maximize what goes to charity while also maximizing the tax benefit you receive for that gift. Let me show you the difference. First, with a simple move, we'll save our couple an extra $65,000 in taxes. Then we'll get on to the $500,000 kicker. Say you plan to give $200,000 this year to an organization or organizations you care about. Most people stroke a check, get their deduction, call it a day. Could we be more strategic? Yes. All right. Cash gift. $200,000 to the charity, $200,000 deduction for our couple. That's about $100,000 in tax savings. More strategic, here's what we do. Instead of cash, let's gift our most highly appreciated NVIDIA stock. Let's give 200,000 of appreciated stock. Let's assume it has a $180,000 gain. We still get our $100,000 tax deduction that we got before. But now we saved an additional $65,000 in taxes. Why? Because we gave the stock directly to the charity and eliminated the $180,000 gain. By gifting stock instead of cash, we eliminated that gain entirely. The charity still receives the full value. You keep more. Everyone wins except our good friends at the IRS. But here's where it gets even more powerful. To the tune of $500,000 in tax savings. Ready? Stock gift plus bunching plus a donor advised fund. What does that mean? Let's start with a donor advised fund. A donor advised fund is a charitable account that lets you front load multiple years of giving into a single year. That's what's called charitable bunching. You contribute the stock, take the full deduction now, and then distribute the gifts to your chosen charity or charities on your timeline. An example, let's say we fund 3 years of giving in 1 year, 200,000 times 3. We stick 600,000 of our most highly appreciated NVIDIA stock into the donor advised fund. Let's assume that stock has a $540,000 gain attributed to it. Well, for the $600,000 gift, our couple saves $300,000 in income tax right off the bat. They save another $200,000 in the capital gains that were eliminated. $500,000 in total tax savings from money you were going to give away anyway. Listen to this. A $600,000 gift cost our couple only $100,000 after netting out their tax savings. And for larger positions, we might even consider a charitable trust, charitable remainder trust, charitable lead trusts. These are really powerful tools as well. Charitable remainder trust allows us to gift stock, get a deduction, typically not the full amount, but a deduction against income, sell the stock without realizing the gain right away, invest in diversified assets, and then draw income that we can use ourselves out of that trust over time. At the end of the trust term, the rest goes to charity. Powerful. Look, this isn't a choice between your wealth and your values. When done correctly, charitable planning can serve both. Okay. I don't know about you all, but I've literally lost track of the tax savings so far. Certainly in the millions for our couple, but we're not done yet. Our final idea of the day is one that kind of sounds too good to be true most of the time. Can supporting family or friends really involve tax savings? I thought only gifts to charity could do that. The answer is it can if it's done right. Number 4, strategic gifting to loved ones. So in this scenario, instead of a charitable organization, we want to support a family member or a friend. So let me walk through a quick example. Let's say our case study couple have been supporting parents to the tune of $50,000 a year to help them bridge the gap and cover living expenses. But let's say the parents live in Texas, not California. Maybe move there. No. They live in Texas, not California. Let's say the parents have an annual household income of only about $36,000. And let's say our couple has just been writing them a check, wiring them $50,000 in cash per year. That's what most people do. They earn the 50, they pay income tax on it, then they send a check to mom and dad. Very generous, don't get me wrong. Got to take care of mom and dad, but not very tax strategic. Here's what a smart plan looks like. Instead of cash, let's say they gift $50,000 worth of highly appreciated stock directly to mom and dad. Don't sell the stock, just transfer the ownership. And let's say that stock had a $45,000 capital gain. Okay, if our couple were to sell the stock at their tax rate, they would owe over $16,000 in tax. But what if mom and dad sell the stock? In this example, mom and dad sell the stock. Once ownership's transferred to them, they still have a capital gain. But 45 plus 36, what is that? 81,000. That's well within the 0% long-term capital gains bracket. Texas also has no state income tax. They sell the stock, $0 in taxes. The same stock, the same gain, $16,000 in taxes or zero. The only difference is who owns it when it's sold. The capital gain didn't disappear. It traveled with the stock. But if the recipient's in a lower bracket or a state with lower or no income tax, they can sell it at a fraction of the tax cost or potentially nothing at all. Strategic gifting is intentionality in tax planning at its best. Okay, let's bring all this together here. We started with a $2.7 million tax bill. That's the cost of strategically doing basically nothing. Then we walked through a toolkit that can help transform and significantly reduce that number. Talked about specific tax lot selection, tax loss harvesting current assets, direct indexing and tax loss harvesting paired with a staggered sale, exchange funds, exchange fund replication to reduce the risk on the position, charitable strategies, strategic gifting to family members. Now, here's the thing. None of these strategies are optimally effective in a silo or in isolation. The real power is in combining them, in doing that in a plan that's designed around your specific tax situation, your timelines, your family, your goals, your vision for the future. A thoughtful plan dramatically reduces that lifetime tax bill. As we say at Blueprint, often, it's not what you earn, it's what you keep. If you found this video valuable, please hit the like button and subscribe and share this video to get this content into the hands of those that need it. We're gonna keep publishing videos just like this, impactful and compelling strategies for corporate and tech executives and business owners who've built significant wealth and want to keep it. If you want to go deeper, if you want to sit down with me or one of our other advisors at Blueprint Financial Group and talk through what this actually looks like for your specific situation, the link to schedule a 15-minute intro is in the description below. I'm Jake Hughes with Blueprint Financial Group. Thanks for watching. Bye, everybody.